Who would win out of Manny Pacquiao and Canelo Alvarez in their prime at a catch weight at around welterweight? You know, around that weight, obviously, because Manny wouldn't have been able to do middleweight. That's too big for him. And who's likely to go down in history as achieving more? So my personal opinion is Pacquiao. Even though Canelo is well, he's just unbelievable at the moment. He's proven to be an unbelievable fighter. He just looks unbeatable. But I still think Pacquiao. I still don't think Canelo is going to outdo Pacquiao in regards to what Pacquiao's achieved in boxing. And I also think in their prime, you know, Canelo's in his prime now. I think Pacquiao was a more exciting fighter to watch. I think he was a better fighter. I think he was more relentless. He threw more punches. Pacquiao was just out of this world. He was unbelievable. And obviously, some people might disagree with me, and I could totally see their point. Some people might say, you know, Canelo's a better fighter. He's this, he's that. But I just think, if you're asking me in terms of excitement, who is more exciting to watch, it's just so easy for me to answer. It's Pacquiao. Pacquiao at all the different weights, especially when Pacquiao was fighting when he was very light, when he was fighting around 126, 130 pounds, 135. Those fights he had with Marquez and if you go back to Morales, just lightning, just relentless, just coming forward, and just an iron chin, just an unbelievable will to win, and just his engine, his natural fitness for me it's superior to Canelo's, and that's a statement because obviously Canelo is extremely fit, and like a lot of people are saying, I agree, it's hard to find any weaknesses in Canelo at the moment, but I still think Pacquiao was just different, just on a different level, and I think Canelo is going to continue to be a better fighter and achieve more, but I still think he's not going to outdo what Pacquiao's achieved. Pacquiao's an 8-weight world champion, and the manner in which Pacquiao won was just so destructive, what he'd done to people, and he beat big men, you know, and he's not bigger than Canelo, but that makes it even more impressive. And I just think, you know, when Mayweather beat Canelo, I think like Pacquiao at any point, even now, right, if you got a prime Pacquiao, right, and we could get him in the ring with the Canelo now and just make Canelo the same weight as Pacquiao, around the same weight, I think Pacquiao wins. Too much angles, too fast for Canelo. Canelo does come forward and headhunt, and he throws unbelievable body shots, and his shot selection is beautiful. But Pacquiao throws punches in bunches, and they come at you like a machine gun, like missiles, and you don't see them. He comes in at weird angles. You know, he does those shots where he slips and it comes over here, it comes over here. You know, he throws, when you watch that fight of Margarito, he hit him with about 10 punch combination, and he's just I just don't think Canelo, I think Canelo would have been marked up as well. I think Pacquiao would have, you know, I think he would have marked him up bad, because Canelo's got that type of skin that marks up, and I think Pacquiao would have hurt him. I'm not saying Pacquiao, I don't think Pacquiao could have knocked Canelo out, but I think he could have stopped him with an accumulation of punishment. Definitely would have won on the scorecards, through work rate, through throwing more punches, through the busyness, the footwork. But it would have been a hell of a fight. You know, Canelo would have obviously hurt Pacquiao, but I think Pacquiao's is that strong. He wouldn't have been knocked out. He wouldn't go down. He wouldn't quit. And I just think prime Pacquiao is in a total league of his own. Even though Canelo is definitely one of the greatest, he's going to go down as one of the greatest fighters. He's one of the greatest fighters to ever lace up the gloves. But for me personally, I just think Pacquiao was just more special. And yeah, but it's a great comparison, and I'm sure people now are already going to be speaking about it, because Canelo's he's so dominant at the moment. But like I said in all my videos, that's just my opinion, right? A lot of people might disagree. A lot of you might agree with me, And I could be wrong because Canelo's career is still going on and Manny's career is still going on. But yeah, it would have been interesting to see because, you know, it's hard to find weaknesses in Canelo, but he seems to have struggled with, you know, like Mayweather, with Lara. And I just think Pacquiao has got that style, in and out, in and out. Pacquiao could have even been a bit more careful and still won. You know, he could have done it in and out. And I really just think, you know, Canelo would have just been, he would have just found it very difficult to cope with those angles, the southpaw stance of Manny, and just the speed. You know, Manny's much quicker than Canelo. Canelo is fast, but if you compare hand speed in their prime Pacquiao, you know, Pacquiao's landing 4 shots to probably every 1 shot Canelo lands, and 6 and 7. He's just too busy, too fit, too relentless, and he could take Canelo's shots. You know, look at the shots he took from Cotto, from Margarito, all big, all huge welterweights that, you know, that are really middleweights and light middleweights, and Pacquiao was able to keep these guys off and beat De La Hoya, beat all these big men. So I don't really think you could bring in size as a factor, because yeah, size does matter in certain fights and different situations, but with Pacquiao, size never matter. He was never a big man himself, but he's got the power, athleticism, speed, angles. His ring IQs are unbelievable, and a lot of people don't talk about what a chin Pacquiao's got, how resilient he is. You know, he's been in with all the punches, and yeah, I know he got knocked out by Marquez, right? That can happen to any fighter, and that was just really being caught by a brilliant shot that he didn't see. But he didn't get knocked out many times, and look how many fights he had. Look at the people he's been. Look at the shots he took. And like I said, if you go back and watch his earlier fights with the Mexicans, with Barrera, Morales, Diaz, Manuel Marquez, I struggled to pronounce that, sorry. Just unbelievable. And then even, you know, when he got in more of his prime, when he beat Ricky Hatton, when he beat Cotto, when he beat Margarito, when he beat De La Hoya, and then even the latter stages of his career, you know, look at beating Adrian Broner, beating Keith Thurman. So many names to add to the list, even in more ways. And yeah, I just think Manny wins through sheer relentlessness. So let me know what your thoughts are. Who do you think winning? Who do you think's he's going to go down as a better fighter and a better career? And if they was to fight, how do you see the fight going? I in my head, I can picture it where Canelo's trying to knock Pacquiao out, trying to hunt him down, but Manny's just too quick. Manny's in and out, spinning in and out. You know, when Canelo's throwing hooks, Manny's underneath, coming back at him, and I can see, in my own mind, this is my imagination, I can see Canelo getting frustrated and not being able to land the shots that he wants to land, and Pacquiao just catching him. But I could also see Canelo just, you know, like just kind of shrugging off the shots, but you know, not being able to deal with it. A bit different to how Mayweather beat him, but a bit similar, but more aggressive, you know, because Floyd's style was different to Manny's. It's more boxer, you know, sharp, touch you, move. Pacquiao's more relentless. All right, so let's talk boxing soon.